If you've been scrolling through endless microscope listings, staring at endless rows of magnification numbers, and still feel like you're one step away from buying the right one, this review is going to clear that up. I've spent the last few weeks setting up a few different models, watching how they handle slide work, and even testing a bit of photomicrography to see if the promises hold up in a real labor home environment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The AmScope T670Q is positioned as a plan infinity system, which sounds like a buzzword until you understand why it matters. An infinity-corrected optical train means the light path stays parallel after the objective, allowing you to insert accessories like a camera or a polarizer without losing focus or image quality. For anyone who wants to move beyond looking at slides on a screen and actually start capturing images or video, that design choice is a practical game changer. What you get right out of the box are 5 plan objectives ranging from 4 to 40, each with a flat field correction that reduces the fuzzy edges you sometimes see on cheaper microscopes. In everyday use, that translates to a cleaner view when you're examining a prepared slide of plant cells, or a more consistent image when you're trying to spot a tiny defect on a printed circuit board. I tried the 10 and 20 lenses on a typical blood smear, and the details were surprisingly crisp for a system at this price point. The real benefit shows when you switch objectives. There's no hunt for focus because the infinity optics keep the image plane steady. The illumination system is a built-in LED with Koehler illumination, which is a term you hear a lot in academic labs. In practice, it means you can adjust the field diaphragm and condenser to get even lighting across the whole slide, rather than a hot spot in the center. When I was looking at a thin section of a leaf, the even lighting made it easy to see the vein network without constantly readjusting the focus. That level of control is something many entry-level microscopes skip, and it can be the difference between a decent view and a usable image for a hobbyist who wants to publish their work online. One of the most talked about features is the Trinocular port. At first glance, it looks like a small extra hole, but it's a gateway to a whole new workflow. By attaching a modest USB camera, you can record time-lapse videos of a live amoeba moving across a petri dish, or take still photos to add to a lab report. I mounted a basic 5MP camera that plugs into the port, and the setup was plug-and-play. The camera used the same infinity optics, so the image quality didn't degrade. If you're the type who likes to share findings on forums, or you need documentation for a school project, that port adds real value without needing a separate microscope body. Now, who should actually consider spending the roughly $600 $700 on this kit? First, students in upper-level high school biology or introductory college courses who need a microscope that can grow with them. The expandable design lets you add more accessories: polarizers for mineralogy, fluorescence kits for biology, so you won't outgrow it after one semester. Second, hobbyists who already have a collection of slides and are curious about getting into photomicrography. The combination of plan objectives, Koehler illumination, and the Trinocular port means you can start capturing decent images without buying a separate research-grade system. On the flip side, if you're looking for a portable field microscope to pop into a backpack for quick fieldwork, this isn't the best pick. The optical tube is fairly long, the base is sturdy but not lightweight, and you'll need a stable surface to get the best results. Also, if you're only ever going to stick with the lowest magnifications, a simpler, single-tube microscope would cost less and take up less space. The T670Q shines when you actually use those higher objectives and need the extra illumination control, so buying it just for basic slide viewing would be overkill. A hidden trade-off that shows up after a few weeks of use is the learning curve around the Koehler setup. The knobs aren't labeled with field or condenser in a way a beginner might expect, so you'll need to read the manual or watch a quick tutorial to get the lighting just right. Once you get the hang of it, the results are worth it, but the initial adjustment can be a little frustrating if you're used to a point-and-shoot LED that just works. Another practical note, the microscope needs a standard 120V outlet, and the power cable is on the longer side, which is handy for bench work but can be a bit of a tripping hazard in a cramped lab bench. Overall, the value of the AmScope T670Q comes from the combination of features that usually sit in separate price tiers. The infinity-corrected optics give you flexibility, the Koehler LED provides professional-grade lighting, and the Trinocular port opens the door to imaging, all wrapped in a sturdy metal frame that can handle the occasional